guardian of Israel, who neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Eternal is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all evil, protect your being. Adonai yishmor tzeitecha u'roecha, me'ata ve'ad olam. May the Lord guard you coming and going from this time forth and forevermore. Mizmor LeDavid. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord makes me lie down in green pastures, leads me beside still waters. The Lord restores my soul, and leads me in right paths for the sake of the divine name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. With rod and staff you comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The psalmist asked, O God, who may abide in your house, who may dwell in your holy mountain? And surely he gives his word, and come what may, does not retract, does not exploit others, never takes bribes. One who lives in this way shall never be forsaken. Are we the creatures of dust, whose destiny is but to return to the dust from which we came? The ancient sage has taught us, the spirit of the human being is the lamp of the Lord. Not even the darkness of death can extinguish the light which the Eternal has kindled in the sanctuary of the human soul. Therefore, Lord, we thank thee in this solemn hour for that which was deathless in the life of our cherished Herman, which is now revealed to us in all his beauty, for his love that united us in life, and which death cannot sever, for his companionship which we shared along life's path, and which still continues through the tenderness of memory, for the gifts of his heart and of his mind, which brought us joy and happiness, and now have become a precious heritage of the Spirit. For all these and more, we give thee our praise. In his personal life and in his professional life, Dr. Herman Kappel Hellerstein built upon the love and the knowledge of the generations before him, transforming them in a majestic way for the generations to follow. Born in the small coal-mining town of Dillonville, Ohio, to Russian immigrant parents Samuel and Cecilia, Herman knew meager beginnings. He worked in his father's general store, and later he would sell shoes. He was proud to say that he was an ethical shoe salesman. He never sold a shoe which did not fit properly. His siblings, Rebecca and Esther of blessed memory, and Velma and Earl, be his lifelong friends. His sisters were his teachers. With them he read the book of knowledge from cover to cover on a rainy day. And Velma would tease him that what his children affectionately called his tall Dillonville stories were really her own. With Earl, he would run down the aisle of the first talking movie looking for the voices. They would engage in heated debates. It was a close family that nurtured him to create his own family. Shortly after graduating from Attleboro College of Western Reserve University and earning his MD from Reserve School of Medicine, Herman would meet his soulmate, Mary Kyle Hellerstein. He was on military leave from the 7th Armored Division, 40th Tank Battalion, in which he was a captain serving under General write to Mary telling her of the profound impact this experience had on him. Indeed, in his best Yiddish, learned at the workman's circle as a child, women would ask the people he was helping to rescue why they were there, why in the camp. As he listened to the response, that sometimes it was merely because their grandmother was half Jewish, his religious understanding and commitment took form. Cultural and political Zionist, the home he and Mary would establish together was unmistakably Jewish, even if Herman was not what we would call religious. Often, however, he accompanied Mary into this great sanctuary. That was because Herman shared many things with his Mary. 45 years would encompass the time from when he sent you those pay rations so you would know what he was eating, to the great pride he shared as he graduated from medical school, to your full years of common interests and mutual goals. During those years, you would accompany Herman around the world, Thailand, China, Australia, South America, Egypt, and Israel, as he would disseminate his word. His pioneering work in cardiology. But the true joy of those years for Mary and for Herman would be their children, Catherine, David, Jonathan, Dan, Susan, and Beth. In his soon-to-be released book, Family of Doctors, David writes, as kids we realized that we were part of a great adventure, conquest of disease by scientific medicine. Some of your fondest memories of helping your father with the scientific research. Growing up, you did not have normal pets, you had lab mice. Your father might assist you in developing experiments for science projects with the mice, or you might help your father study some phenomena in them. Sometimes you were the guinea pigs, made you run on the fitness machines and tested each of your breaths. He enjoyed your company on many of his research collecting projects as well, and often you played an important role in helping him. Jonathan, you lived out every young boy's dream, as you would ride on the fire engines and in ambulances, taking EKGs of the emergency workers and the victims. David, joining his father, measured the stress of parachute jumpers as they landed. Here you said you learned about the fragility of life, which would later inspire your work. Your father was a man who, though committed to science, did not stay in his small laboratory. Studying stress, seeing that he experienced vicariously every profession from factory worker and farmer to orchestra conductor and pilot. And you learned through your own experiments and provoking your father. He was not quick-tempered at all. He showed you great patience as he inquired about what consequences you thought some of your antics might yield. He had a wonderful sense of humor. Affectionately, your dad referred to you, Catherine, and Susan, and Beth as EDD number 1, number 2, and number 3. That stood for Dear Darling Daughter, of course. And indeed, he thought of each of you in this way. Catherine shared a deep love for the Yiddish language of his childhood. He was constantly arranging speaking engagements for you in the area so that you would come to visit. Susan, you remember the most fondly the family bicycle rides every Sunday with your father at the head of the line and your mother bringing up the tail. You would ride your little two-wheeler and your dad would tie to his bike to pull you along. Also the family vacations, which often required 2 cars and a myriad of signs to communicate between the 2 of them. So Beth, the vision of your father at Susie's graduation will be a memory that will shape your life. It was just a short while ago, but you, the newlywed of the gang, said that your parents looked like newlyweds. The way that your father was holding hands with your mother, they went on walks through the beautiful countryside together. All of you have had models for you in your special relationship which the Jewish wedding blessing is referred to as Re'imam, loving friends. For your spouses, David, Lisa, Peggy, Karen, John, and Dan, it is their blessing too that your father was a kind, humble, and loving person who will pass these traits on to his children. Taught you all to stand up for your beliefs, even if it meant that the dinner table debate was hotter than the food on your plate. Gave you a model of a man who was larger than life, and yet he took orders from his little granddaughter Jessica. He enjoyed each of his 10 grandchildren, range in age from 8 years to 5 weeks. Beth and Dan certainly would have loved to meet your soon-to-be addition to the world. Perhaps yours will be his namesake, keeping alive a name that each of you has become, indeed. The Cleveland Health Museum is a display of 14 pioneers of Cleveland cardiology. The display is known simply as On the Shoulders of Giants. Dr. Herman Koppel Hellerstein was indeed a giant in the field of medicine, and others stand on his shoulders, being the recipients of his vast contributions to the scientific cause. They will benefit from what he has done. But you, his family and friends, know that his shoulders are even broader than that. For there, you could find comfort and conviction. Standing on his shoulders, you have found fresh acquisitions for the future ages. May the high ideals that he cherished live on in your words and your deeds. May the depth of his love for each of you be the source from which you shall draw strength. A colleague of Dr. Hellerstein, Dr. Bill Moyer, to share words about his professional life.
This is a personal recollection of Dr. Hellerstein as my colleague and my friend. I first met Dr. Hellerstein in 1952 after my return from service in the Korean War. At that time, I became a fellow in cardiology at the University Hospitals, and then in 1953, joined Dr. Hellerstein at the work classification clinic of the then leading area of the Heart Society, now known as the American Heart Association. The clinic, the work classification clinic at that time, was based at the Bureau of Vocational Rehabilitation on East 55th Street, where Dr. Hellerstein organized the clinic in 1950, and together with Mrs. Elaine Goldston, the medical social worker, Mrs. Helen Delaney, nurse, and importantly, Mrs. Marjorie Snowbrook as administrative secretary. Dr. Hellerstein staffed clinic with medical residents from university hospitals who were particularly interested in cardiovascular disease. I served as associate director from 1953 to 1956. So to speak loudly, Michelle. I served as an associate director from 1953 to 1956, and then to begin my own research work in coronary physiology and physiology reserve, and to become a staff member of the Division of Cardiology at the University Hospital as a junior colleague of Dr. Sarah Fire, Dr. Walter Pritchard, and Dr. From those times on, I became not only a younger colleague of Berlin, but more important, a friend that remains so to this day, 40 years later, and we no longer see much. Herm was always interested in basic science, but his most significant work vector of such efforts was From the mid-1950s and on, his work with physical and psychological problems of heart attack played a significant role in the evolution of the present early recovery and rehabilitation of such patients. He wrote widely, and the success of these efforts were recognized in Congress both nationally and abroad. Subsequently, he traveled throughout the world and promoting the need of rehabilitation of post-heart attack patients and contributed to the literature of the subject by numerous scientific articles and eventually several important books. However, he had a somewhat hidden view of the claims of the enthusiasts for exercise alone as a major component of the lifestyle to reduce heart attack risk. Although he conceded that the benefit of exercise is effective primary prevention of coronary heart disease, he was of the mind that it was the associated lifestyle, particularly with respect to diet and discontinuance of smoking, that was the more important. He gently treated me when I personally fell prey to the cardiovascular outflames of running enthusiasm of the 1970s and 1980s. This reflected his science point. He despised medical care speculation and demanded hard scientific data to justify any interventions that were alleged to be of benefit in health maintenance and public care. However, with respect to my learning, we never figured that out anywhere on the finish of the race. Herman was an enthusiastic and demanding teacher both of medical students, medical residence staff, and research colleagues. We frequently argued that win or lose, we always learn something from process. His professional career was unique in the breadth and the importance of healthcare treatment. We mourned his death, but we celebrate his life and his accomplishments. Certainly will never be forgotten at the University Hospital in the School of Medicine at Case Western Reserve University, nor by us, or by any other of the numerous colleagues and former students. Many of them are here today.
Dr. Gorenstein's children, Catherine, poet, and David, psychiatrist, to share with you some of their memories and thoughts of their father. I wrote a poem, you hear me, that would not only speak for myself, but would also speak for my family and my father's friends. And I tried to follow the traditional Jewish eulogy form. There's two sections to it. The first section is called Hesped, praising the deceased for worthy qualities. We gather here today to say goodbye to you, beloved Herman, father, friend, brother, dearest husband, doctor, teacher. Words are what you live by. How they fail me now, standing before your silence. You would speak and write to teach and comfort those you love your whole life through. You helped us learn to live. Humane and decent, menschlich, humorous, clear-sighted, rigorous. You spoke the truth as you perceived it. Usually you were right, a prophet in the well-mannered wilderness. With words you changed your world. You healed sick hearts. You tended hope like young tomato shoots in the sunny patch that you and Mary planted. And look, the fruit. 6 kids, 10 grandchildren, Your books, talks, articles are known and used. Your mother used to ask, "What have you done lately for humanity?" I see your testimony to the love and work of humankind as your fine legacy. The second part is called Becky, expressing grief and a sense of loss. And oh, my Father, in these last dark days, you've lost your words, and now we have lost you. I stand here in the Jewish way of grief, strong in the face of crisis, and in respect for you, the dead. I've watched you breathe, and then there was no breath. An instant, you were gone. The silence begs to hear your voice again. I want to think there is a world to come where I might hear your voice. I'll always hear in memory you quote your mother's words, "Zu leiden ist zu leben, und zu leben ist zu leiden. To live is to suffer, and to suffer is to live." You always used to translate in reverse and emphasize the living. We shall not forget you, Dad. With all our love, Olev HaSholem, may you rest in peace.
Once, when I was about 10 years old, my father woke me in the middle of the night. "It's time," he said. "Time for what?" I asked. "Time to go to a new world," he said. I sat bolt upright in bed. He said, "Get up. Get out of bed." I followed him around the second floor as he bid me to, saying silent goodbyes to each of the sleeping family members. To Mom, to Catherine, to Jonathan, to Daniel, to Susan, and to baby Elizabeth. Then I followed him downstairs. He whispered to me, the world was about to explode. He had built a rocket ship in the basement to travel to a new world. There was only room for me, he said. "Why?" I asked. "Why me?" I had 1,000 questions. "Shock," he said. We stood in silence. For endless moments, we stood there in the darkness, listening to the cicadas calling in the Ohio summer night. Why were we going to the basement, I wondered, full of both dread and strange glee at the thought about what was about to happen. But nothing happened. After an eternity, Dad turned to me. "No," he said, "not tonight." "Why?" I said, heartbroken. "It's not time," he responded. And I followed him back upstairs, back to a world that was forever changed. Our father, Herman Papa Hellerstein, was always surprising us, always leading us to the brink of a new world. He was full of fierce energy, full of a limitless need to explore, to discover, and then to explain. Late at night, on many nights, brought all 6 of us, 1 or 2 at a time, with him to the strange world of the hospital, and on weekends to his study sites in parachute jumping fields, in fire stations, in laboratories, and gymnasiums. With his stories, he brought us to the small coal mining town of Dillonville, Ohio, and back to 1944, across Europe as the 7th Armored Division of General Patton's 3rd Army liberated France from the Nazis. His stories even took us past the gates of Bergen-Belsen. With one phrase, he marked our lives forever. He and Mom had decided to have 6 children, 1 for each million, he said. Those words are burned into our hearts, and each of us 6 children still struggles with their meaning. In 1,000 ways, Herman Hellerstein was a remarkable father. Like in his hospital work and research projects, his fathering did not follow a conventional path. Instead, it was guided by his intellect, his heart, and his imagination. He had a fierce love of life, a sense of the holiness and the incredible fragility of life, and an intense rage against death, the enemy. And so, in recent years, he struggled greatly as his illness progressed. For month after month, he outwitted death. But finally, everything had been tried. In contrast to that night so many years ago, finally it was time. As Jews, we do not believe as such in an afterlife. We believe people live in the lives they have affected, in their words and in their deeds. Herman Hellerstein wrote many thousands of words, and he touched millions of lives. But if there were an afterlife, I could imagine him now, full of boundless energy and imagination, ready for a bold new experiment, ready to explore another new world.
Catch you later, I wouldn't miss it.
He lives in the Boston area. And he came in with his wife and I think her 2 children. And then he came back with the last
And some other person where they go out. It's in the land of Israel, in the Holy Land. So he goes in. Goes up and down the country.
where are you right now?
Finally, he's taking him up to the paths of the shrine of the book. You know where they have the Dead Sea Scrolls?
That's enough. Go back to the table.
Are you reading computer?
Like, assimilated the picture.
Drinking pink lemonade. Dude, you should get the picture. Why don't you turn the camera on
He ended
you?
up, I mean, they didn't know he was Christian. I mean, you know, they sort of invite, they pick up everybody at the Wailing Wall. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they go up to everybody at the Wailing Wall, I guess. Yeah, they hit the dorms. I mean, they're very...
They should shut out the lights and lock the door.
I mean, they're funded to
How are you?
I mean, that's what these guys do for a living. They find places to eat.
I was actually here.
I
Gave up.
I vowed
Then again, the largest one, Newark, is
myself
myself.
that next time I see
Newark, it's not much better.
It's Newark.
It's a lot worse. I'd say New York is better.
I think he realized.
Oh, you mean you earned it? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot better than Newark.
That's
Haven't been able to go.
another one, real estate that provide. That's what I would like.
Here's some tuna fish.
Honey, it's just a little for now.
We have professional.
Jessica has her new baby.
Well, her new baby cousin.
Oh, just fun. Look, he's doing very well, too. Good, good. You know how to...
Excuse me. Ed.
It was interesting that when everybody sitting down that
Wave hello.
There's like, I told you,
Tell them what your
this
name
is
is.
just the start of it. I was going to tell you, I have a very good friend.
You like that?
I don't know. Ask my mom.
you know where the sink is.
No, but the languages will be secondary area. And she will be spending probably next summer and possibly at least a semester again over someplace, maybe either in Israel or Cairo.
Very good.
Looks like we did.
Are you a statue?
That's not how real kids act. They don't stand.
Judy and Rob.
You want it next?
Somebody's time.
Oh, no, look, it's the camera. Say hi. Goodbye. Nice to see you. Thanks. Goodbye, Beth. Excuse me.
Tall and slender and
Not now. Don't get up. Don't get up.
You ever seen them?
10 minutes.
Oh, yes.
Who are you? You're a Ben.
Where she is. Now, can you say something nice? Say something nice.
wanna go play?
Yeah,
Wanna go
want to go play?
Where do you want to play? Where? With dinosaurs? You sure? Cheese.
Cheese. Smart kid. Do you want to wave?
What kind of cheese? Monster cheese? Can you wave for that?
No. Okay. All right. Okay. We're gonna go in the car right now.
And take a nappy?
Yeah, let's go.
The show almost over?
Yeah, we're gonna take this.
time.
I'm the artist, the family artist that Herm calls all the time to do. Every time a girl's pregnant in the family, I am asked to do artwork. Herm calls me all the time to let me know who's pregnant. And there's a piece right in there with Andrew, little baby Andrew.
That's wonderful. Is that acrylic too?
That is acrylic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just having nerves.
Joni, you know what? Barbara has a little boy just your size.
I was going to bring up that I was crazy for the whole week. Well, actually, you said that. Your dad took some pictures of my son when we were at the house, but probably. Actually, it was last winter. He sent them to me. They were so cute.
Should I get you out, sweetie? You little sleepyhead? You want to take
Your
me?
uncle. I will see you I hope I'll see you before I leave. I might just
Okay.
split because I
Okay.
gotta get
Well,
my...
or come back. I mean, I'll be
Oh, you'll be
here.
here till 2? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I promise.
that would be great. I'm really glad you introduced yourself.
Thank you.
Gracious, are you a sleepyhead? Okay. Whoa, a guillotine. Oh, do you need a dry bottom? Pumpkin?
sad day, but a lot of happy things.
Yeah.
Huh? Bag lady. My friend Carol gives me.
And then you have a sleepy fellow there.
Huh?
You have a sleeping fellow there.
A sleeping fellow. See if I can get him inside and in someplace to lie down.
Mama!
Hi, Angel.
Look
Look at your beautiful new polka dot dress. I heard there was a Nell doll that's missing.
Anybody seen Zoe?
Little Mermaid.
Have you seen Zoe doll? Zoe doll? Could you help? What? What color are these guys?
A good garbage. Black and white.
Black with white spots?
No.
White with black spots? What's the big one's name?
Well, this one's hung on this one's Purdy.
Purdy and Tonga? Where's Pogo? Is he Pogo one of them?
What?
The little guy? One of the puppies? Isn't one of the puppies named Pogo? No? Just Pongo and Purdy? It's
Cruella.
Cruella. She's an awful lady, isn't she?
Yeah.
Didn't she kidnap all the dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, they just disguised themselves.
Sorry, under these circumstances.
Where they got rescued by the man and his girlfriend.
Great. That should be the trash time.
And it's a waste of money.
Have a nice smile. Do you have one of those? Oh, that's lovely.
There's a nice one.
That's lovely. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, hurry, hurry.
She has her PhD and she's working. And
Because you just can't do it. You can't do it. It's too hard. At least for me it is, especially with two kids.
Hey.
You know, I want to be able to go home and turn people off, that I can.
There may be a time in 15 years when you feel like you can go into that'll be a totally different phase in your life. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like now it's totally practical.
But you know what?
two babies
Where'd it go? You got it. Thank you. Oh, you keep it.
Look at all that black
Hey, come here, come here. Good.
Hey!
Oh. Oh. Whoa. All right, here we go.
Betty! Give it to her!
He remembers there when you live in
That one of his obstetrical log, which he kept a record of like 1,000 deliveries that he did between ages 75 and 1900.
I think that is really.
Yeah, and then letters.
How did you get that?
Everything's in the attic here. My mother never.
Oh, really? Donald keeps throwing our things away, but you kept everything.
Well,
Mary kept everything.
my mother had, like you say, well, I think in second grade I was thinking, Cub Scout thing. Oh yeah, I have that in a little package. But this is
Express milk. He said I had to have 2 bottles.
So I think this was
Smile.
Yeah, right? Yeah, on demand? Smile on demand? No. No, who knows? Yeah. Oh, there.
Say hi to the camera.
It's another uncle. Come on. Hi. Oh, boy. That's a good wow.
Oh, see the
fancy
lights?
contraption. It's amazing. This is it. This is going to change his life.
I know.
You're nursing him.
I know I can't hold him the other direction, otherwise he'll start sniffing.
So you were at the thing this morning?
Yes. It's noon.
was a fine service.
It certainly was.
It was.
Yeah.
Participation of the family.
Yeah, they were delightful.
Yeah.
Coming? Oh, wow.
Fine
Did
service.
you get to the surgeon? Did you hear?
I couldn't hear very well, but I don't have any hearing problems. I give somebody my service. And your children were marvelous. Here we are.
Hello, Ed, from Ellen in Chicago.
Okay.
WTTW, PBS in Chicago, Channel 11.
Okay.
It was good to see you.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Yep.
Have a good ride back.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Come to Chicago sometime. My
Okay.
phone number is 312-642-7541. I'm at 1150 North Lakeshore Drive, number 9K, Chicago 60611. This is
Okay.
an oral address.
Bye.
Leah, say hello to Uncle Ed. Where's your nose? Where's Daddy's nose? Want to show Daddy's nose?
That's what she likes, upside down.
Upside down? Would you live upside down if you could?
Who's that? Is that Leah? Hi, Pumpkin. And upside down, funny. And upside down with Julie Love. She has the cutest little curls. My little pumpkin. So cute.
I don't know, I have some water here.
Where's your Adam's apple?
Looks just like you. Really?
Where?
Where's your Adam's apple? Where's your collarbone? There you go. Where's your tongue? And your nose? And your ears? And your hair? Where's your elbow? Where are your elbows? There you go. Now where's your knee? Where's your knee? Touch your knee. Where? There you go. Where's your femur? That's your tibia. Okay.
Now you're
Where are your
getting technical.
toes? There you are, toes.
It hasn't passed anatomy yet.
No, she still has a ways to go. All right. Okay. What do you
Where's
wanna
your
do?
daddy? Can you give Daddy a kiss? Oh.
Did you do a
That's
fish
great.
kiss? Fish kiss?
Where's your daddy's nose?
Beep beep.
Does it say beep beep? Oh, all daddy's noses say beep beep. Where's your daddy's Adam's apple?
We haven't seen these things for a long time.
No, we've been out.
Oh.
Here's another
Oh,
baby.
who's
We love
that?
babies.
Who is that? Is it a baby?
The smile.
I just saw him before us.
Isn't he a cutie?
Oh, gosh. He is. Hi, Andrew. Hi.
Baby. Mommy. Where's
Mommy Boo. This one, how come we're into stripes today?
Yeah.
He just got out of jail.
I'm sure he said Mama. Susie, he said Mama.
Who's Nana?
Oh, no, Grandma. Grandma think Grandma
What did you
is.
say, Nana or Mama? Which? Yeah. You're not used to
It was Nana and Papa.
Well, my kids call him Papa.
Oh, he's leaning on Grandma's shoulder.
But Dad, yeah, I think Dad wanted Poppy, slight distinction. Well, Jessica started out calling him Poppy.
Oh.
So, Nanny and Poppy, and for a while Mom spelled Nanny and Poppy. Okay.
Oh,
Learned in the
Nanny.
car today. I guess we
She
could.
said Nanny and Poppy.
Ring
call your
the
father
ring
Poppy.
rosy, a pocket full of rosy, ashes, ashes, we all fall. You do.
Well, that's one good thing. There are a few good things.
Right, that's a good thing.
It's
So
me,
Leah's
baby.
really gotten to
Haven't enough fruit in the mom's sweets.
Oh, we haven't had enough.
More food?
You have to put a sign on those, fat free.
She's
doing-
She's doing
December, so she's about to
Very, Beth would like yours to.
How's she doing in her pregnancy?
It's
she's my mom's sister.
No, I think she's doing.
Say hi to Uncle Ed. Hello. Hi. Can you say hi? Say hi. Hi. What does the dog say? Oh, you see Anne. There's Anne. What does the doggy say?
You call your grandma Ann?
By her first name.
Boy, aren't you,
Precocious one.
Change that, but
She,
it's
her,
easier
fa
to
her
say.
Karen's father.
What do you see? Pretty dark, huh?
Come on.
Hello there,
Leah.
Leah.
Leah. There goes the door.
He likes to slam doors.
Come here,
Leah.
Come here, sweetie.
Oh, there goes the other
Come here
door.
for a minute.
Busy closing the
Close
doors.
it up. Watch your fingers. Watch your fingers.
Doesn't want any more company.
Dan, bring her over here for a second.
Right.
It's interesting.
We're high tech now.
Jacksonville wanted to develop their waterfront, so they consulted with some of the Cleveland waterfront development people. They wanted to also improve their tourism, so they used Cleveland as a model of Playhouse Square, and all these things we seem anachronistic. Why would anybody want to be using Cleveland as a model?
No, the new Society Tower.
No.
It's much bigger. Oh, there's major improvements.
It's just like Boston, only more.
Well, they don't go in for that kind of stuff in Boston.
Yeah,
They
I
build
mean,
a lot of
old Fenway Park, I
hotels.
guess they're gonna build a new
But,
one for
I
baseball.
hope not.
Well, we
Where's the money gonna come from?
Taxes.
We just went through it.
We're going to tax cigarettes, or we're going to tax
City
beer.
tax, we just went through that.
From the lottery, he said.
They're building a $500 million complex, a stadium, a baseball stadium, and an arena right next to it for the Cavaliers.
I would encourage everybody to drink and smoke, so we can get more.
And what's going to happen to the Browns?
They're going to
Browns are staying where they're at.
They're
Then
going
they're
to
going to
continue
put
to
a dome
lose.
over the stadium?
No, they're going to continue to lose.
I don't think
Now the Indians, did you get a picture of his cast?
Oh, yeah.
Jerry likes the Indians. He's been a diehard
No
fan
matter
for
what.
40 years.
Well, I'll give you a little leg, Ed.
Testaverde will be helpful, I think. He's Bernie's best friend, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they'll be in platter. Of course, I'm an optimist, but I think they'll be in platter.
Actually, the longer they go without winning the title, the greater the likelihood is that the next year will be that year. If they had just won 2 or 3 titles like Pittsburgh in a row, they'd say, okay, that's it for 20
They've had it.
years.
That's
had
right.
it.
That's right.
It's been dry for 30 years since Jim Brown left.
Well, all right.
And
I would say in another 3 centuries, they'll be competitive with Paris.
I don't know if they're even looking to be competitive
Oh,
with Paris. There's only one Paris, right?
All right. I guess in the year 1311, we went through the same folly. That we're broke, but we can somehow right.
Yeah, I know.
Did you take everybody?
How are you?
Watch out, Jonah Bonus.
No.
Get out of the road. There's hot dogs. It's gonna be a little much.
Excuse me, can I squeeze?
How's that fontanelle? Nice and soft.
So but how does that,
How's your fontanelle?
Soft.
Nice and soft.
if you moved up in
Jonah. What are you doing?
is that tenure
Sneaking
track?
by.
Is that tenure? Or?
And there's Nellie. Remember
There's
Nellie?
probably, I think there are no, there might be a single tenured position.
A lot of work to make.
Yeah.
I mean, but who, like, who's security work? Who did the lectures in the, the thing is that because you're very bad speech at it,
Food.
by virtue of your voice in the VCHL.
Told you that before.
If you fail,
I really am.
So the,
It's
wait, so
frustration
the faculty
for
runs
children. All these
PCHL?
children
Or
have
it's part
everything
run by the faculty,
Yeah, really.
staff level.
Are there untenured professors?
And you know, as an instructor, I mean, I see patients for the Boston Children's Eye Foundation, and they become a part of my private clinic Right,
whatever.
but I don't build them privately.
She
They're
didn't like,
Aldo,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. She didn't like
He made
that they
1.1
did some
million by seeing
tests, certain tests she
people
felt were
private.
unnecessary, and she thought they weren't kind of whipping them off.
No, that was probably a salary.
So,
I'll bet.
she really wasn't.
I'll bet you. Great salary. Really? Well, I mean, if you think about it, the fees that he generates for these
Came out
surgeries
with the consistency.
probably amount to,
What are you doing for pictures online? What's that? What am I doing for pictures? I have cameras
Oh, yeah, we saved a lot.
Yeah, I have,
but still.
well, you sent me some pictures.
We talk about privacy.
I have,
Hello. I'm boiling.
Wow. Good for hearing.
That's what
I didn't tell you, I was in touch with Steve Ross this week about
Warner Brothers?
yeah.
About what?
Interesting.
About a TV right. Oh, you caught me in that one.
well, you can somebody's touch with them.
Right. And it was cheaper before.
I was talking to John. He's still has a movie right.
See, Ross still has a lot of influence on the board. So.
I was speaking with Mike.
You don't talk to him.
She crashing?
Yeah, I think so. He's gonna try and feed her this outside.
Mommy.
She's wants some Wawi. She's thirsty.
Melting.
Except we need to. Where's the Wawi?
Water?
I don't think your family has enough, like melodrama. You need more incest.
Well, I think, you know,
A lecture, extra chocolate, starts to say, that's right.
I went to a student. I didn't know her.
These people were very friendly.
And she went around telling everybody. And I was actually a prisoner. And I was also Jewish.
I always take them. I did one for Marion Herman. George brother, just up here recently.
Yeah, I was here 30th taking the records. All our meetings for years. So you'll be on here. You'll be in. Don't say a word. Well, you have to speak in dots and dashes. That's right.
What did you say?
He'll have to talk in dots and dashes. Yeah, he's an amateur radio person.
Oh, okay, Morse code.
Yeah.
All right. How about semaphore?
Well, maybe that too.
I don't know. Had to pass a semaphore test in order to get leave, I remember, and then maybe.
Okay, now go give Manny another kiss. She needs another kiss. Quickly.
Oh, all the groundwater is moving. Which implies that it...
Give her another kiss. Okay, give Manny another kiss. Quickly.
Scary.
Yes, it is. And I think, this is the 11th hour, and it has to come out.
I think she needs another kiss. You gonna give Nanny another kiss? Okay, quickly. Quickly.
One bit of advice was the state should tell them.
Let's see. No, it's not bad. Okay, come here. Let's see who's next.
Maybe drop it.
That's not her. I got her.
Up 5.
Hasta what? Banana. Hasta banana. Bye. Andrew, say bye. He's sleeping.
Give your daddy, see if your daddy gets a Mickey Mouse yank.
Hey Nellie, can you say goodbye to Curious George?
Down in one of the young ones. But then he went into...
Yeah, he's 3 months. He has to go home and go to sleep, unfortunately.
Good night. No,
I'm
no.
the ostrich.
No, you're the ostrich.
Yeah. He's gonna pick up a fuss if I don't get him home.
Jay Weintraub.
Why? I'm not one solo. Why? No!
Favorite thing. Hey, Nellie, look, this is your book.
You'd like to know.
You want to draw in your book? Look. Oh, now you want to draw the owl, or should we draw? Oh, look at that. Do you want to draw some flowers?
Already can get.
You want to draw that, Nellie?
Hit balls with him, Dad.
That'd be good.
Or maybe we could come down to Florida over the winter and hit balls with you.
Sure.
You must have courts at your club.
Yeah, my book, I was describing how my book is completed finally after several years of that, and it's coming out next April.
I liked your speech.
I think I think it was very good.
I was trying to think of a story that
Rocket ship for one of my siblings. Which one did I want to choose?
And that's the real
Come with
question.
me.
Tell us the truth.
Ah, that's...
Who did you choose?
I plead the fifth.
I
can say no.
Wasn't Kathy?
No.
Here.
No, he picked David. I'm guessing he picked David.
I don't know.
But that's funny. No, you know what it was? At the time, he was always reading my Superman comic books, and that was part of the Superman story. Was that Krypton blew up, and Superman was saved by his parents would put him in a rocket and send him to.
Well, your father used to read your comic books?
Yes, constantly, yeah.
That's interesting.
And also Mad Magazine. He said he had to read what the kids were reading.
Usually we'd find, like, I'd buy the comic book, like, get halfway through it.
Yeah, the Playboys.
Disappear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Playboy, right. And I'd find it, like, in his room, his whole pile of comics.
Really? How funny. That's great. That's really great.
I think it was also, like, being with a family and having been in concentration camp, his feeling like that you should always, you might have to move at any time. You might have to leave everything that was familiar behind. But I took it more.
You do?
Like,
You really think so?
yes, absolutely.
You want to tuck those things in the envelope?
Yes.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Unfortunately, that has been experience of many, you know.
Yeah. No, I think he was very affected by
I know that.
his experiences.
I tell you, I mean,
And then there were two for like 5 or 10 more trees. So.
What is this?
You have 50 trees in
Israel.
Israel.
This is going to be the Hellerstein forest.
Are they really? Do they have like a little plaque in Israel?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like
Yeah, they
the
do,
bricks
but they're-
at the playground.
There's this movie where they have this sign up. It says like the Hellerstein family forest, and the Hellerstein family comes here, sees it. As soon as they drive off, there's a guy who comes with the next
Switch
sign. Where he
name.
puts up right here. There's a third
On
family.
top.
They slip it in and out. There's like this little.
I
I thought it was like on one of those like
There's one
signs
forest.
that
The thing
signs
is that
with
there's
little
one
red lights
forest.
that they could change, computer change.
Yeah,
how did
right,
you get
right,
into
right.
a collection of so many trees?
Well,
This
these
is
were
what
given
people
in
are
memory of
saying,
my
yeah.
father.
Oh, I did.
So these are
Well,
from.
it's honest.
These
That's
are
an excellent
just
idea. I
These
should have
just
known
came in
that.
the last day or two.
Yeah.
How many
See, we
trees do you think you have so far?
Well, one with 25, one with 10.
25, 10.
35 so far.
And where are they?
36, 37, 38
It'll be the Hellerstein forest.
Right.
in Israel.
Yeah, but where are
What kind of trees?
Which part of
Doesn't
Israel?
say. It's a little vague.
Do you think they sell the trees more than once, David?
Nobody else was thinking about it. This isn't new. This is something that, we did years and years ago, kind of thing. Or we were talking, I remember talking about the ethics of medicine and how we would talk about, somebody gave a lecture on percentages, and if you do this and you do that and what are your clinical outcomes, he says, clinical outcomes, it's sort of meaningless in terms of that individual and that person. And you can do all the clinical outcomes you want, but what do you do in that given situation? What are the realities of how you practice medicine, rather than what you do by the statistics and by doing it by the book. And we always
Just tell me, is there one?
Philosophy. It's the kind of thing that Mahmoud was so always say. On that note, I think we'll end the conference because you couldn't respond to it. I mean,
No one else was around.
it was a whole pill-pull. The kind of thing you don't just say, well, I agree or disagree. It would generate a whole series of discussions that usually took place when everybody broke up then. You say, well, what do you think of that? And it was sort of the kind of thing that he would be involved in. But as I was saying, he had such a strength in terms of, you meet people all the time. We're constantly looking at who else is more important, or what else they have to do, or where they're going. You never had that feeling with him. I mean, he stopped and talked to you, he talked to you. There's never heard about going anywhere, and, you know, when you were done and you were going to leave, fine. But it was always, you know, full attention to what you were discussing, and was able to handle so many different areas of knowledge and input, and whether it be history or philosophy, psychology, medicine, just mundane things, trivial things, or, you know, deep philosophic things.
My kid said that he would listen to him.
Yeah. But you see him 11 o'clock at night. You see him. I remember he had his heart attack, and he had chest pain. He said, "Well, I got to finish making rounds," and he finished his round. You know, I remember. I remember he said he knew that something was wrong, but he had about 5 patients to see. He went and saw them, and then he went down to the emergency room. He said, "I think I'm having a heart attack." And sure enough, remember he had the angioplasty at that time, or the surgery. And but that was him. It was a kind of very, you know, this is the way I'm going to play it, and this is what I have to do and get done. Very soft human being, just.
Gorgeous.
You know, he could say more by not saying anything. He just sort of look at it, you know, quizzically, you know, give a nod or a question, and you knew that he was thinking a million things and reacting to a million things.
He wanted to, he just said, it's too bad you can't transplant the brain and, you know, go on from there.
Right.
You know, too bad you got to start all over again.
Are we sure he didn't succeed?
Partial transplant.
On number 6. No, he used to say that. He said, I just have to figure out how to transplant my brain into your body and I can live another 70, 80 years.
Well, he would say it seriously, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I would say it as a kind of...
on that. And David said, well, you're sitting over the couch
Yeah.
minutes ago, what would have happened to my brain?
Did he say it to his dad then, though?
No.
No, not at all.
Only now. He can
You know
do
that cat that hangs out on the step?
That one has David's brain.
But how he did all the things he did, I remember he would come in and tell me that he'd be making rounds at 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. He was supposed to be in Los Angeles that afternoon lecturing, and he would be getting an 11 o'clock flight or 12 o'clock flight. And then he'd be back the next morning at 7 o'clock making rounds. You know, he'd take the night flight. And he looked as alert the next morning as I looked, you know, after 14 hours sleep. He would just, he loved that tumult, you know, the participating in